What's up, everyone? In this video, we're going to be talking about what happened in the stock market today and the absolutely gigantic $55 million trade from today. This is pretty exciting, so make sure to stick with us towards the end of today's video. We have a lot to talk about, but Tom, looking at the stock market today, there was a lot of just nothingness. We didn't see too many stocks move in a crazy way, which it sucks, but it's also not too surprising given the absolutely explosive day that we saw yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people, they always want to see a stock market continuation, especially after a big day like that. But every once in a while, you do see it start to slow down a little bit, kind of like what we saw today. And I will say pre-market this morning was actually looking fantastic. You can see the stock market was kind of breaking out of yesterday's highs and after hours, and the SPY actually ran all the way up to 410, which ended up being a huge resistance up there, and we kind of double topped before tumbling off intraday. It was a pretty bad move down, but I will say, compared to this huge move from yesterday, this small move down today is really not anything, guys. Like, don't be too freaked out about this. I still think that we could definitely go back up and still move to the upside, even though we did see some downward selling pressure today. And looking at the 15-minute chart, Mike, the SPY is still within this channel that it's been in for a long time. We are right at the top, which is right around where it hit today. So that does worry me a little bit. But keep in mind, guys, these channels are meant to be broken, and at some point, SPY will start to break out of this. So hopefully we start to see it happen with Powell making these good comments. And then tomorrow morning, we actually have the unemployment rate and non-farm payrolls set to come out. And you can kind of see here the consensus on the non-farm payrolls shows that they're actually expecting a drop in those payrolls, which would initially sound bad, but then that kind of means that the Fed's rate hikes are actually working, which is good.
Exactly. So tomorrow before open, that's when I guess you could say, unemployment rate and the non-farm payrolls will come out. So keep in mind, we will see a little bit of extra volatility in pre-market tomorrow. Definitely keep that in mind. But today, Tom, in terms of economic data, I remember watching the market around open, and then just 30 minutes in, the market just completely reversed. So I guess that goes to show you that economic data can definitely move the market pretty quickly.
Yeah, it definitely can. I want to point that out. Good call, Mike. There was a big move on SPY today, right as it hit 410 right there. And this happened right at 10 a.m. Eastern time or 9 a.m. Central time. And if we look at the economic calendar today, you can see that that was right when the ISM manufacturing PMI came out. Now, whenever you think about that, most people were not very interested in this number at all. But the second that came out, you can see the SPY started just getting extremely volatile there. I don't know if it's because it hit resistance or if it's because of that number, but either way, a bunch of sellers came in, and that's when the market really started selling down. So pay attention to those numbers tomorrow morning. Those unemployment numbers can definitely start to shoot the market up or down. And there has been a fair amount of articles, like CNBC is really trying to hype up these job numbers for tomorrow morning too.
No doubt. So what else do we need to know going into tomorrow, especially in terms of earnings?
Yeah, so earnings, we're not going to have too many tomorrow, but tonight we do have Alta reporting along with ChargePoint. We have Cracker Barrel tomorrow, but it is nice, Mike, to finally see a day where we're not going to have any. I'll be honest. We just keep seeing crazy earnings, even from Monday. PDD kicked it off for those China stocks, and that really started sending, I guess, the volatility into the market there. But yeah, as the week went on, we had Snowflake and Salesforce report over the past couple days, and some of those reports have been bad, but then Snowflake recovered up. So crazy week with earnings, Mike. I can't wait for next week, but I will say I am kind of glad that tomorrow we can just maybe focus on the overall movement of the SPY, because there is some pretty big levels here, like 405 and 410. And I'm hoping we can maybe break out of this channel in one way or the other.
Yeah, there we go. I'm still very excited with the market overall right now, for the main reason being that we're finally seeing momentum, right? Some days it's to the upside, some days it's to the downside, and we can't avoid that. But what really sucks is when we get into periods where the stock market just does absolutely nothing, which is basically what happened for like the past 2 weeks or so. And I feel like that period is over now. So I'm just glad to finally see some solid momentum back. And as the month progresses, we will have more and more important events coming out, like another rate hike and a bunch of other important data like inflation data. And all of that just means volatility, which means opportunity.
Yeah, be ready on December 14th. That's the next FOMC meeting date. It looks like 50 basis points is now priced in at an 81.8% chance, Mike, on the CME watch tool. So sounds pretty interesting. Hopefully that starts to move the market up as well. But yeah, SPY's getting volatile, Mike. And we still have even more news coming out of China, which is crazy. I know China stocks have been a huge talk this week. And if we go look at like the 5-minute chart, BABA actually gapped down today. But whenever the market opened, we actually rocketed right back to the upside. And there was some great news today. So they're actually easing some of their COVID policy, which is nice. And I know a lot of people have been speculating that with all the protests going on and with the citizens over there being very unhappy with all the restrictions, that the government might start to loosen some things. And it looks like that is starting to happen here. And over the last 24 hours, they've been making some smaller, some smaller changes, but they're hoping that this actually brings broader, broader relaxation, I guess is their wording it, on the way. But either way, the government over there has been so strict, Mike. I know that it's hurt these China stocks so bad this year, but you can see this week with this hope, man, I mean, that's some straight up volatility there.
You know it. All right, Tom. Well, now I want to highlight a couple plays I'm watching for tomorrow and just going forward. One of them is Tilray, so TLRY. We've been talking about this one over the past couple weeks and past couple months. For those of you who don't know, this is a marijuana stock. Marijuana stocks are by far some of the most volatile and crazy stocks in the entire market. Most of the time they do nothing and they just slowly fall, but every now and then they move crazier than you can imagine. They have like a 10x or even more in some cases. Tilray has a long history of crazy moves. It had a decent day today, which is good to see. Nothing like jaw-dropping just yet, but either way it has some good momentum, and I'm definitely watching it going forward.
Yeah, me too. I know we've been talking about this one ever since before the midterms, and there's been some great news associated with marijuana lately, like Biden even talking about it. So keep it on the radar. I'm really glad to see it popping up, Mike. And I know that there's a big resistance here right around 420 on Tilray. Now, I'm not trying to be funny with the number 420 either. It just happens to be a good resistance on one of these marijuana stocks. But either way, it's looking good, Mike. And I know that, like you said, we've been watching these marijuana stocks for a long time, and I've really been waiting for Tilray to pop up for a few months now. So I'm glad to see it finally moving. One of my favorites today is Meta. Talk about stocks not moving a lot lately, Mike. I know Meta has been down in the dumps this year quite a bit, but the past week we've been seeing some very nice volatility back to the upside, and especially the past 2 days, some of these moves up have been fantastic. I really like this channel here on Meta. I'm going to watch that high of day today right around 121.20. If we can break out of that tomorrow, I will definitely be watching for another continuation. Now, if we do end up falling down and we break below 118.50 in a big way and the SPY falls, I could maybe see Meta starting to trade back down into this zone. But the main thing I'm going to be looking for is that overall market momentum.
Sounds good. Another stock I'm watching is TLT, and this stock is really starting to run up. And Tom, we've been talking about this stock to the upside on the channel for weeks now and maybe even months now. It's finally popping up in an awesome way. And there was also a giant smart money trade with this one, like $4 million that we were talking about just a couple weeks ago. So it's awesome to finally see it start to pop up. That's why it's so important to pay attention to the smart money trades we talk about in each video, because a lot of them do very well. Either way, TLT is moving up in a great way, and I think it definitely has more room to go up. Not necessarily tomorrow, but over the next couple weeks, I think it has more room to pop.
Yeah, me too. I mean, this is one of the best smart money plays I think that we've seen, Mike. We've been really waiting on TLT to jump up into this range between 103 and 113 for a long time now. And with that move today, we finally got that big push up into that range that we've been waiting for. And that is awesome. I mean, I cannot believe, I mean, just a crazy play, Mike. Whenever we talked about this, TLT was so low. I expected this to maybe take until, January or, maybe just after the first of the year to maybe get up, but it only took us a couple weeks and we're all the way up into this range now. I mean, that is insane. And it's good to see TLT popping back up. I will say the market was a little bit down today, which made me a little bit sad, but hey, it's good to see TLT running up like this. And it's good to see some of these bonds like USO2Y starting to fall down a little bit here.
All right, there we go. Tom, what other stocks are you watching?
Yeah, one of my favorites is actually Roblox, of course, RBLX. I know that this stock has not been doing near as well as a lot of stocks have lately, but as you can see on the chart here, there is a pretty big support right around $30 a share. And I'm going to really be watching this stock. It has a lot of momentum back to the upside. And whenever I look at the monthly active user numbers and just the numbers for Roblox, it really does blow my mind with how many people still play this game. But I'm going to be watching it on the stock. Obviously, that's a big support. You can look at it on the daily as well, how we've been bouncing. I will say, though, we are running up into some resistance, really close to $33.65. So I will say that over the next week or even over the next few trading days, we need to be watching this area very carefully. If we start to break out above this tomorrow, fantastic. I think it'll be a great day trade. But if we start to reject off this, it might just stay down in this range and not be the best thing to trade. So we're really looking for that breakout there.
All right, sounds good. Well, Tom, it is now time for the momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we have SPLK to the upside.
Splunk, yeah, this is actually awesome. Great earnings move today, last night, I should say, and then even a nice continuation this morning. But go ahead and make them break out above 92.40.
All right, with the next one, we have Disney, also to the upside.
You can't forget about Disney. That's right. Go ahead and make them break above 99. And if they do break that, watch out for $100. That should be coming up pretty soon.
All right, and now with the last one, we have AMD for both ways.
Yeah, so AMD was really stuck today. Not the best day for them. There's a big intraday support right around 76.50. So if they break that to the downside, watch for a move down. Now, if they break above intraday resistance right around 77.75, then watch for a move up. And I will say, Mike, I really like that upper resistance there. It does worry me tomorrow heading into AMD. We might fall.
Gotcha. All right, so we're watching AMD, Disney, and Splunk for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. And then don't forget, with AMD, we also have that downside level. So definitely keep that in mind for a potential day trade to the downside if it breaks below that. But it is now time for the $55 million trade for today. We are looking at DoorDash, DASH. Some big money trader put over $55 million into the 45 strike call options that expire on February 17th of 2023. DoorDash right now is trading for around $57 a share. It has all-time highs right around like $260 a share or so. It's been a wild year for DoorDash. Lots of volatility, lots of downward selling pressure. But the thing is, what I do like is that the smart money trade here is buying in the money call options with some time. For those of you who don't know how options work, basically what the smart money is doing in this situation is that they are betting DoorDash will rise a lot going forward. Basically, the higher it goes, the better for the person behind this trade. They put $55 million just to get into the trade, and that is leverage too. So in the event that, DoorDash rises up, this could be just an absolutely insane trade right here. I'll tell you, Tom, like when I was looking at the trade as it happened, like I was pretty surprised. Like I was calculating the numbers again, double checking, but yeah, this is a pretty big trade.
Yeah, that is huge. $55 million, and DoorDash is just so low this year. I cannot believe how low some of these growth stocks have ended up falling. And I've noticed, Mike, that a lot of these stocks that are low, we're starting to see a lot of big money flow into the calls, whether it's with China stocks, whether it's with TLT, which obviously that doesn't have to do much with growth stocks or anything like that. whether it's with DraftKings. I mean, we're starting to see just lots of big money in general come in across the board. So that's great to see. And obviously, DoorDash is just one of those huge stocks that it looks like, Mike, 55 million. I mean, is this breaking our record here? What's the most we've ever talked about?
I think 133 million, but the $133 million trade is a little bit skewed in the sense of like it wasn't like it didn't cost smart money $133 million like cash today because it was like a spread trade, so it was a little bit advanced because they got some premium back with the short puts. But this DoorDash trade is definitely up there. It's definitely one of the top ones, and it's not bad. Like I said, like it's in the money. I like it.
Yeah, and it's deep in the money too. That's what I really like about it. Sometimes we talk about these trades, and sometimes they'll be buying calls like maybe at like, for example, DoorDash is at like 57 today. They might be buying like the 60 calls or maybe even like the 55 calls. It's usually a lot closer to the money. With them going all the way to 45, that is going all the way down to lows of the year pretty much for DoorDash. So I like that, Mike. That gives me some confidence. And $55 million. Man, we're going to be watching this one. And we've been seeing some crazy moves up lately, like with YMM, Queb, FXI. I mean, some of these smart money plays have been popping off. So, guys, keep your eyes on DoorDash. There's even a pretty big intraday resistance here right at 60. So if you guys even want to look at that, maybe just play a breakout above 60 and maybe get into a swing once it starts going back up.
Yeah, and the thing is, like when it comes to smart money plays, a lot of times you can look at technicals, you can look at market sentiment, you can look at maybe DoorDash's fundamentals, maybe some events they have planned, but a lot of times, when you just, I guess you could say coincidentally see millions of dollars flow into the trade, a lot of times you see some random event that it's very suspicious that you would think like someone has insider information, and that's why they made the trade. So all I'm saying is basically a lot of times in situations like this, we see news come out that you would have never thought of, and really it's just insiders making bank off of, like, honestly, inside information.
Yeah, it really could be, Mike. I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff like that that's happened. Remember that one time, Mike, with Tesla, whenever Elon actually tweeted to like make the stock go down the day after there was like 50 million put into like some puts. Remember that?
Yeah, true. And it happens all the time. Like, of course, like the Tesla one definitely stood out because, it's Tesla. But I'll tell you, like, there's so many times when I'm watching, smart money trades and it's just like out of nowhere, just the stock goes crazy. So I'm pretty excited. DoorDash will definitely be on my radar going forward. But Tom, do you have any final thoughts or anything heading into tomorrow?
Yeah, pretty crazy day overall. A lot of stocks were actually green, even though there wasn't much movement in the market. I will say I don't want to go without noticing AMC a little bit. It kind of led my watch list today up 13%, which was interesting. And there was actually one more stock that I really like right now, Mike, that I think is not getting the attention it deserves, and that is Ruger right now. Sturm, Ruger and Company. This is a gun manufacturer for anybody who doesn't know, and they actually came out with a very special $5 per share dividend today, which is insane. That is a huge dividend. It looks like, I think, Mike, like December 14th or December 15th is going to be the cutoff date for that dividend. But this stock really flew up today, all the way up to 60 and even higher. So figured I'd mention it. I mean, it is having a really nice pop. And with that special dividend, I feel like this might go on like a nice multi-day continuation, hopefully.
Yeah, we will see. Also, if you guys like our videos, make sure to subscribe. When you subscribe, you will see our videos recommended to you more often. And basically, whenever there's other giant trades, just like this DoorDash one, it'll pop up on your homepage right automatically for the most part. So make sure to subscribe. We post all the time. Also, giant shout out to today's member of the day, Neofi in the StockedUp Discord. You've been in the chat for over 2 years. Definitely keep up the activity. It's awesome to have you in the chat. And guys, definitely check out this video on the screen right here. I go deep into how to find some of the best opportunities going forward. There's a lot of low stocks right now and a lot of opportunities. So make sure to watch the video on the screen right now. It's definitely worth your time.